Hi, Ken here at the shop at IPD. Underneath our new S60 project car, this is the P3 or Y2 chassis. And as most of you are aware, we've had skid plates available for most of the chassis before. We noticed when we got this car that this has a fiber skid plate under it, and in fact is not very sturdy at all. So we, of course, set about making an actual skid plate for these cars. This is an aluminum skid plate, comes with mounting hardware. It's a 2-tool install, just takes about 10 minutes to put on. The factory splash guard is held on with 8 Torx 30 screws. Just one driver, you can remove it. This is obviously what we're concerned about with these cars. As you can see, just coming in with a curb, the first thing that you can potentially hit is the front of the very expensive cast aluminum oil pan on the bottom of the engine. There are also other objects you want to protect, so we've built an aluminum skid plate to give you a little better protection than the car has from the factory. The skid plate simply goes in exactly as the original one, using the supplied hardware and a 10mm driver. The 2 front corners use a spacer that goes between the skid plate and the chassis and a longer bolt. So you simply put the spacer up behind and put the bolt through. These bolts are all going into plastic nylon inserts on the chassis, so there's no real torque rating on these. Instead, you're just going to snug them up. Some of the features of the new skid plate: you'll see we've got some NACA ducting to try and increase airflow through, especially on the turbo cars. That there's a relief for the rear engine mount for when the motor rocks, so it doesn't actually clang against the plate. And we actually have a cutout so you can do your oil change without removing the skid plate every time. This is far better protection than the factory felt pan.